Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 37 of Podcast of Five Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast of Five Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and Soundcloud. Now talk about topic day by day on YouTube with the full video releasing on Friday. To catch updates about the podcast or for other news, give us a follow on your social media platform of choice listed in the description below. I'm your host, GM, Overwhelmed GM, and overseer of Podcast of Five Rings, Obsidian, back from the Shadow Realm. We were banished for 3 weeks, and now we're back. Me for 4, I think. It's basically been since early December since I've been here. It feels great to be back. I'm joined tonight by the wall that will not fall, Tetsuo. The crab ring in the new year like no one else.
Yeah, we sat at home and did nothing. Let's go.
Somebody's got to be on that wall.
Yeah, I had a nice holiday break. It was pretty good. We got the Dark Fortune Dealers meta.
Yay!
The Meat Man himself.
Yay!
Mr. Topo.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
The resident wildcard Mal. You just cursed.
Where am I? Who are you all?
What is this
My
thing?
God.
What are we
He's been
doing?
reading
Voice sounds so familiar. Yesteryear.
Yeah, it's like a whisper
been a
from
year.
a far off memory.
I haven't talked with y'all since last year, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
It's been so long.
So like,
Hey,
hey you,
Hey.
what?
I saw you. Technically,
I mean, technically, but that
Technically.
doesn't count.
This is the internet, sir. It's real life. I'll have you know.
What?
Everything
No,
else is
real
just the
life is real
virtual
life.
There
reality.
is no such thing as anything beyond the internet.
John Mayer was right. There's no such thing as the real world.
Life is the internet.
So what was everyone up to over the holidays?
Well, let me tell you about my weeks.
I want to know every
First
single
off-
day. What was Meta doing?
Well, first off, on Friday, I was at work, and you would not believe what Becky had to say about so-and-so. You would just not believe it.
Oh,
So,
honey,
she went in.
you don't know. You don't know.
I just had a pretty good Christmas. Got a swanky new monitor
Good.
from my fiance. Not to rally off the specs
That you are not
You're
using
right.
right now.
Yeah, I'm not using right.
And it's
No, actually,
boxed
it's
up,
very
so.
nice. It's a very nice monitor. It's a big gaming monitor design. You know, the whole increased refresh rate, reduced latency,
yeah.
blah 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 blah. Very nice widescreen,
Sweet.
34 inches. It's very wonderful. Absolutely love it. It's probably one of the coolest gifts I've ever gotten in a long time.
That's
As
you,
for New Year's, it was just no. I'm just not done, Obs. I'm
I'm
not
sorry.
finished.
I'm sorry.
I'm listening.
New Year's
Whoa.
is my friend.
I'm listening with rapt attention.
You were listening to what?
With rapt attention.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it. See, why can't you be a good listener like Tats?
Because I've been banished to the Shadow Realm for a month. Can't hear anything, even the sound of your own
good
voice.
and not lose those duels.
I know, man. I
Come on,
know.
man. It's just a children's card game. The most serious thing known to mankind.
Those 5-year-olds are freaking geniuses, though, man.
Now on
I'm telling you.
motorcycles.
Yeah, no, New Year's I just had some friends over. It was a good time. That was all it was.
That's what we did. We got drunk and played some board games. What about you now, Tets? Now.
Now,
I mean,
Meh.
it didn't really change my answer. We just sat around and did nothing for both days.
Well, you at least got some
He was serious.
gaming in, didn't you? You finally
Yeah, I
got
got some
something you've
gaming
been
in, I
wanting a
got-
long time, didn't you?
I got a grill, and I have been grilling every day since Christmas, with the exception of one day, but I grilled that morning instead of for dinner, so...
I'm
that's
envious,
still-
dude. Dude, I don't want to grill right now. It's been like 20 degrees every day here.
It was one of the days I grilled. It was like 40 degrees outside, and I had a nice cold beer, and I had the charcoal chimney set up, and the flames were like 2 foot above the chimney because I put a little bit too much newspaper on the bottom. But
Oh,
I was
man.
okay with it because it was just so nice, just drinking a cold beer in the cold air with the giant flame in front of me, and I was like, I miss this. I'm so glad I have a grill again.
All right, people on Discord, stop messaging me. The little beeps and boops won't stop. They wait till we start recording, and then I get bombarded with instant
Hold on.
messages.
hold on. I think I have a way I can solve this problem for you.
Yeah. You a funny
I'm gonna
guy.
add fuel to the fire.
You a funny guy.
I did also get a bunch more kits of Gunpla and actually something to display my Gunpla.
You got
in,
Destiny
so
2
my
also,
office-
didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's
Did you
kind of been at the bottom of my list of things because of all the Gunpla.
Yeah.
Did you get any L5R cards, core sets, maybe?
Yes.
Liar!
Just haven't been to the store yet to get it. That's really
Liar.
what it is.
I can never trust you again.
Someday. What about you, Mal? What'd you do over the break?
Oh, not much. I've been listening to a lot of actual play podcasts.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Podcasting
like-
it up.
the only L5R one.
Oh, yeah, the Shadow, the Cabal, or whatever.
Yep, one of the only Starfinder ones.
How are they?
They're good. I like them. I grabbed a whole bunch. I've only listened to like those two so far. It's all part of my goal. The Starfinder one's Cosmic Crit, but it's all part of my goal so that I can have 40 hours of podcasts a week to listen to.
While you're at work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you gotta have something for until Critical Role starts back up in a week. Right?
Yeah, right.
So,
Like, just for the sake of it, because I don't actually know much about these things, what are those anyway?
Well, you just listen to people actually, like our monthly modules, just it's all audio.
Okay. Okay. Oh.
Some are more edited than others, like Critical Role. Cosmic Crit's got really good banter. Shadow of the Cabal is like super tightly edited, so it's not like it's all just in character stuff.
gotcha.
Wow.
Well,
This is interesting, actually.
as for me,
Nah,
Bit-
no one cares.
Nah, we're fine. We could go on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We gotta
Moving
get
on.
this episode going.
I ate some turkey. I got. I played some board games. I got drunk. I watched some football. There you go. That's what I did in break. We also, for anyone interested who wants to do potential Legend of the Five Rings play by post, we launched our new forum for Rokugan High School 4, which is a modern anime slice of life high school take on L5R. So if you are interested,
Anime characters.
Yeah.
Tropes and your anime memes
you-
with your L5R.
Well,
this is
it's
the
a high
place.
school OA or whatever, or what are they called?
AU.
AU. Alternate Universe.
Yes.
So that is at rokuganhighschool.freeforums.net, and you
It
can talk with us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a pretty big laid back game, so if you are definitely been interested into getting into an L5R game, but you feel maybe intimidated, this is actually probably one of the best ways to start, just because we're very relaxed about it. Nobody's
Yep.
there's not gonna be like people
it
jumping.
is-
Plus,
on
it's
people
like
for
1,000 years in the future, so Rokugani cultures
A
kind of
little
mellowed
bit.
out a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of mellowed out. There's a lot of things that make it very easy to join in. So, and we're just very chillaxed.
Yeah. Most play
and
by
this is
post
the-
tend to be fairly PvP oriented. This one isn't at all, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. And this is the 4th iteration of it, so we're actually
We've had
running
practice.
on. Yeah, and this is running off of 4th edition from AEG, so you don't have to worry about all the weird dice from FFG. This is still the original. Well, I guess 4th edition original.
Yeah,
So-
the L of the 4th edition original.
I don't even know. Yeah, that would be a hard thing to play by post.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
The
I
new one.
feel. Yeah, anything with custom dice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
weird.
Very hard. Yeah.
But yep, since a week ago, I think maybe a week or the day before is when we started putting this up. We've got a butt ton of interest so far. It's kind of been like more than I thought we would have. And-
I have to agree. I do. I mean, like as always, I expect some people will end up potentially dropping for real.
oh yeah, for sure.
That's like with everything, but I did not expect this many people either. So
Yep. So excited about that. It's starting
we start out
pretty
The
soon.
15th. The 15th is day 1 for the game, so you guys have some time.
Yep.
and then day 0, which is more just an intermediary, like just a chance for people to kind of like get into the groove of role playing, is next Monday.
When you'll be hearing this.
Yes.
So get in there and RP with us. This is your chance to do it.
I need to finish my character.
Mal, the resident wild card.
I will say, if you do join, gotta be careful of the GMs. That Obsidian guy is.
Yeah.
Mal's gonna show up with his
obviously.
Suno Bushi character, and
If Mao
I
doesn't
have
at
no
least
clue what's
one-
going on.
If Mao doesn't do at least one running overhead, I'm gonna be very upset.
Yeah, I know. I'm expecting it.
I feel like that would be frowned upon by the administration.
I don't know. I think that's what stance 6 of the Night 10.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there. It's in
Six.
N10
Yes,
somewhere.
There is something in there. The running overhead. It's a long, not talked about, but very peculiar technique.
And
The
Matsu
reason why you don't
technique
hear it
too.
Well, the reason why you don't hear it talked about is because they only use one hand, despite it being from the Nighten.
Yeah, there you go.
And I
Nintendo's
just
Burn.
really funny like
Burn.
that.
triggered all of our
Triggered so many. All the Miyamoto's are
Burn.
like, Dishonor, I will do him.
What else is
Bring
new?
it.
What else is new? All right, so we're doing a little bit, kind of different format, but not really. We didn't get a chance because I wanted to take the day off for New Year's. You can thank me. So we're basically doing a year in review, kind of like summation podcast here. So
I just wanted to take the last month off.
I
Some
know,
of us
man.
actually showed up for work once.
yeah,
I know, right? I put in my hours.
Meta did a good job reading the intro while I was gone. I gave him an A-. This is great.
Yay!
So, why don't you, Tets? Let's get into our first, like,
2017
little section of the 2017 multiverse here.
What if I say no and I'm not going to ask you about your video game opinions of 2017?
Okay, then we'll
I'm
go
gonna
on to my
probably give it
movie
to you
and
anyway.
TV ones.
Oh, yeah. I figured that would be a good strong one to start off on just because we had a lot of topics about it.
I mean, it was an amazing year for
Yeah.
video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
One of the
Hats off to 2017 for video games.
At one point, me and Obs were going through it like after recording once, and we were like trying to find another year that really matched up to it.
We
What
couldn't.
decide on. I think it was like 2011, maybe was like the last amazing year like this. Really?
Yeah,
I
there
did
was
see
somewhere.
somebody say that 97 was pretty strong in the same
Yeah.
regard.
I think that was
but,
when, like, the
but
N64
97
launched.
dropped like some amazing games.
I think that's like at the point when games really started gaining traction because of that year, as opposed to it's just not the same thing as what it was this year. This year just was.
Well, yeah. Sorry.
No, you're
That
good.
was all my statement was.
Probably it started out real strong.
Yes. I mean, you have a lot of great games that came out in the beginning, and then not even counting the games in the year, you have to think about all the announcements that we have gotten for games that
Oh,
are
yeah.
coming up in the future as well. 2017 has been wonderful in that regards too, actually. I mean, we were all very surprised, or let me know if I'm talking out of turn here, but we were all pretty surprised at how good the Video Game Awards were on their like drops of previews for games. That were
Yeah, it
gonna
was
come
pretty
out.
entertaining.
Just give me whatever from software.
Like they
It doesn't
announced.
matter what it is, just give it to us, please.
They announced.
Armored Born.
Yeah.
It'll be like Bloodborne.
Armored
but
Born.
Armored
Uh,
Born.
Yeah, you got the Switch after 8 months. They announced today.
Oh yeah, that was
sold.
also now currently the fastest selling console of
Yes,
all
it
time.
is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's been a great year, dudes.
I have
Yeah.
exactly 2 games for the Switch that I
I've
have
got
yet
like
to beat
6.
either of them.
I've got like 6. So I've been playing a lot of games on my Switch.
You beat me completely out on the Switch.
I was gonna say I have none.
What? No. Okay, so I just want to like.
I will
You
jump
go
in
ahead,
there.
Meta. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, I'll jump in right in there. My favorite game for 2017.
Kingdom
is gonna
Hearts
be-
HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue for the PS4.
You know it. You fucking got it. How did you know, Oms? How did you figure it
A
out?
game I haven't even gotten yet.
No, my favorite game was Neo. Like, no fucking surprise. But I enjoyed the crap out of that game. I'm still playing that game. That came out in February
Well-
this last year. I was about to say
Yeah,
this.
It is
that was
very
real good.
replayable.
That game has had DLC drop for it again and again and again. There have been even hints by their directors that they're going to do more with Neo in 2018, which I don't even know how they're going to do that because, I mean, they left the ending very open so that they could do more with stuff with the game in the future, potentially either with William or something else down later on the line. I mean, they've got an ass load. They've got 200-something years to cover that they can make up any storyline that they want.
More
in.
blacksmith.
Yes,
wife.
just Black Widow for sure. I need at least 20 more hours with her at minimum. I mean, the game has gotten great DLC. The combat is incredibly tight and fun. I enjoyed the story, even if it wasn't as even if I like more open ended as akin to like Bloodborne or Dark Souls. It was still an entertaining story all the same. The DLC has only continued to be even more impressive. I would actually almost argue that the DLC final boss is more badass than the actual real of the original game, vanilla. final boss. It was so well done. And
I believe you've talked about it a few times.
a few times I have, but
Yeah.
that is hands down the game. I even listen to the music to that game. Like I'll be driving into work and I will just put that soundtrack on
Does have a good
because it's
soundtrack.
solid. It's a good soundtrack. I mean, that game is just solid. That is my 2017 game.
Give us a number 2 and a number 3 as well. Why not?
Yeah, what
All
else
right,
did
sure.
you enjoy about the year?
Sonic Mania, actually, I would give that. Another
yeah.
one.
Oh.
That is a game I
Yeah,
really
it's
enjoyed.
in my top
It-
10 for sure.
It hit my nostalgia, and it hit it right in the center. I was like, oh, it's beautiful. I mean, like I said, I've had like 1 or 2 gripes with it, but I mean, when the game is that good, if you can only think of like 1 or 2 things to say, like, well, they probably could have done this better, then that's a really good game.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't really have any major complaints with the game at all, honestly.
It was me nitpicking. I mean, there's no complaints. It was just nitpicks, like certain little things that I just didn't like. But I mean, that's just nitpicking,
Yeah.
like something subjectively. I mean, Sonic Mania was just really fun. I love playing that game. I love some of the new stuff they did with it. I love that they used some of the old music. Some of the new music is really good as well. The soundtrack to that game is also wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down, would say.
Yeah,
like,
it's
the soundtrack of the best.
it's in my top 3 soundtracks of the year for sure.
I was just overall like impressed with that. And then it's like for the third game, that's actually a harder one.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of too.
Where's the Final Fantasy 14 expansion fall?
Yeah, but Final Fantasy, I don't really want to count Final Fantasy 14. Like, I will give it an honorable mention just because of the fact that like Final Fantasy is an MMO, so it's always going to have patches year round. So,
All right, but they came out with a large expansion
yeah, it's true. I guess
where you got to finally play Samurai.
I did get to play Samurai. I enjoyed that game a lot. Final Fantasy 14 is great, but I mean, it's always evolving. Like, it's already come out with a number of patches that have brought out tons of new content. That
Yeah.
the expansion itself.
Well, that's
Like,
just kind of the world we're living in now. We've got a lot more games that are trying to be services.
Yeah. But
Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
they never die.
Overwatch-
Development never ends, even after it goes gold.
Overwatch keeps getting more and more stuff, and that game came out in 2016.
Now I'm getting all these freaking Overwatch Pro Tournament commercials
yeah, right.
on YouTube constantly.
As a solid game though, first thing that like my mind jumps to is maybe Final Fantasy 15, just because they attempted something really wonderful.
15?
That was last year.
Oh, that was
sadly.
last year. Oh my God.
Or
you're
it
right.
would have been in
I
my
just
top
Well,
three.
last
beat
year-
that,
last-
even though it
last-
took me a little over a year.
Last year is 2017.
It was November.
Okay, 2
2016.
years ago. I'm sorry. I'm still living in a year ago. The Shadow Realm's messing with my perception of time.
Sorry.
That's true.
Try
Actually,
not
wow.
to do it again.
That's actually depressing then, because that kind of tells you like the games I've played. Ooh, that's a little depressing.
I think Final Fantasy 14 expansion counts.
I'll count it, but it's probably not a
I
game
mean,
I'd go to. For Honor,
You
I
probably
believe
spent a
I'd play
lot of time. It did.
Yeah,
download it.
we played a lot of For Honor. It's
was
an
gonna
honorable
say
mention
Honor.
for me.
Yeah,
It
it's
definitely
got
is.
Honor.
It had some issues.
I think it's my 4th.
It, was,
It
I would
had
say-
issues, but the thing about For Honor, for me at least, was it. I think that if For Honor didn't happen, I don't know that this podcast wouldn't have happened.
That's true.
That's a true point.
That's true.
You know, like
Yeah.
like we all had, again, we had the other games that we played together, but we really birthed the idea of this podcast when playing For Honor. So For Honor, despite its problems and despite the long amount of time that we didn't play it, it does have a special place in my heart during 2017.
There you go.
I will say I will give For Honor that, and the fact that For Honor did something very different. For Honor did something
Yes.
that is true to all of our hearts, and that is taking some really cool factions in history and just throwing them into a pit and saying, "All right, we're gonna play, just punch and beat them up, and this can be really fun." And then they did that, and they did it in a very spectacular, showy fashion. It
Those
sucks
damn
that, like,
peacekeepers.
it sucks that there's a lot of balancing issues, that there is no dedicated servers, that their model of design for the game was really shitty. But overall, I still enjoyed the game for what it was. But
Did you have any major disappointments with anything?
Yeah, what was like the biggest disappointment for you for a game?
biggest disappointment for me. Man, I kind of shut those out. That's a hard one. I don't think. You know what? I'll say it just because it was one game that I was really kind of looking forward to. I hadn't settled. I mean, take this for what it is. I hadn't settled on buying the game. But I would actually say Battlefront 2. Like, I really wanted to like that game and to play that game because I really wanted Battlefront to be like the childhood Battlefront for PS2 and Battlefront 2 for PS2.
Never again, my friend.
Which Battlefront 2 is now back up and running multiplayer on Steam, I believe. The original.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Which I will eventually at some point here grab.
I did not know that.
Yup.
Oh my god.
Maybe that's a game we should just all play one day.
I was gonna say that sounds like an awesome attempt to play.
Yes.
That sounds like it. I remember that, and like that's the one I think it's the most disappointing thing is because like it's a part I can see a game in the past of mine that maybe behind nostalgic glasses of rosy tintedness, but all the same a game that I remember affectionately loving, and seeing the controversy that exploded around Battlefront 2 this year in EA. And seeing, and I actually did get the chance to play it. My buddy brought it over. I installed it and I played it. I didn't have to pay anything for it, so I got to play it. The game is fun, very entertaining, but there are still some tidbits and pieces of it that just really make me say, it's not.
Oh, I know how that
truly,
is.
It's not truly Battlefront to me, and that kind of sucks. But it was enjoyable. It was very fun to play the characters. I enjoyed playing the storyline, getting to at least see it. Storyline was good. If you guys want to know, I don't know if any of you played or had a chance to do so under your own terms.
Nope.
The storyline is good. It's enjoyable. It sucks. I mean, it's the storyline is good in how it's told, but there are some key points in that storyline that make me go, I'm not buying it. Although the emotion is there, so it's very clear that there was passion behind in it. But for why they did what they did, there could have been some changes, and it would have definitely made it a solid better. And then beyond that, besides the only being let down, is that obviously, yes, you play on the good guys after time period. I would have really liked if they had just stayed on the end.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been very nice. But majority of the game is done as a rebel. You get like a few missions as your empire, but the majority of the game is then done rebel. Really wish it would have just been fully empire. So, but that would have been cool.
That would have been way cool.
That would have been really
the
cool.
Empire. But...
Yeah, just the Empire for the game, but yeah. I would say that's my biggest disappointment, just because I want my childhood and I'm not getting it.
Yep, I'm sorry, man. We'll
okay.
have the Steam. We'll have the Steam version now. You got a little bit of nostalgia in there.
It's okay. Sonic Mania came back and did what Battlefront 2 couldn't.
Sonic. All right. What about you, Mel? What's your list here? Because ours might be kind of similar.
I think we have the same number one.
I think we do.
There's no question, really, is there?
Horizon Zero Dawn?
No, you'll never see it coming.
Barbie My Adventure?
You'll never see it coming.
It's definitely Persona 5.
Persona 5, yeah.
For one, it's like one of the only games I've finished last year, because...
So many games.
Yeah, and I just...
No time.
There's another game I gotta play, and then, yeah.
I'm working on 2 games in my backlog right now.
Ooh.
God, Persona 5 is just, it's definitely, it's my favorite RPG in a long time, I think.
Yeah, it's still my favorite video game. It holds up. It's the only game I platinumed. And, I mean, we had a topic on this earlier in the year, but...
Yep. Like, it's just the best, like, RPG I may have ever played. The only game I might put in front of it is, genre, I guess, is Soulsborne.
Yeah, I was gonna say best JRPG
but that's
for
like
you,
for
probably.
gameplay. That's for gameplay, whereas this is like for a lot of other things.
Yeah,
the music, and
style, art direction. It's my
just
favorite soundtrack.
Yeah, I love it so much. And then after that, Nier might actually be second.
That's still
I
on my
love
backlog.
that game a lot. I
want to play it.
It did a lot with the concept. With some interesting concepts, like with video games, like it keeps saying like it's like you got ending or this ending, but like you keep playing.
Yeah,
like it took some very interesting concepts there, and then the story was interesting, and the music's beautiful. It actually won out over Persona at the Game Awards for soundtrack.
Nice.
It's real beautiful. What else? There were a lot of good games. Horizon, Zelda. Neo. I played a lot of. I don't know what.
played Mass Effect.
3 is a hard. Yeah, I did. 3 is a hard slot, man.
Yeah, it was hard
You know
for
what?
me.
You know what I just figured out? I just forgot about it, but maybe this will help you. I did remember Divinity 2 Original Sin did come
That's
out.
one of the games I'm
Oh.
playing right now.
That's 3.
That would be 3 for me. That would be a solid 3 for me.
I'm
Yeah.
enjoying what I've been playing. So I haven't played a lot. Me and my buddies are only playing it on the weekends. I'm just playing with my friends, but it is freaking fun to play. It's just like playing D&D with your friends.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's just
so good.
D&D.
They just improved the first one in like every way, basically.
absolutely agreed. It's completely improved. Summoner 10 is OP. Please nerf Blizz. I haven't gotten the late game with that game yet. I think we're only. I don't even think we're halfway there. But suddenly your armor values from level 9 to level 12 jump, like huge value jumps.
Super
suddenly.
scales.
Yeah, like it's scaling. I think the scaling for the armor values is exponential in this game. So
I don't recall, but I love that game a lot too.
it is a
And
good game. It's a very good game.
It's challenging
considering
too.
it's like it's like considering it was a Kickstarted game with an indie studio, and it was so amazing.
Yeah.
What's your biggest disappointment then?
Destiny 2.
Oh. Well, Tess have some stuff to say about this here in a minute.
They just rested on their laurels, I think, a lot. Like, I don't see how the end of Destiny 1 and the start of Destiny 2 they're not like the same game. Like, I don't see how they got from A to B. And then they've had some pretty bad practices with like microtransactions and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard.
Their whole winter festival was like built around trying to get as much money out of people as possible.
I mean, the last ones kind of were as well.
Not this bad.
Oh no.
Also,
not-
they were
not
lying
this
about
bad.
XP values to get
That's true,
those
yeah.
microtrans, like to get the free loot boxes and stuff. Yeah, that's been pretty bad.
All right, Tess, what about you then? What's your list here?
So I have a top 4, I think.
Go for it.
Um,
I'm not gonna shut you
and
down.
it's not even like a list; they're kind of all together.
Yeah, man, go for it.
As the top 4.
Lay it
because
on us, bro.
I think the most time playing, and therefore have a lot of a positive thought process on, are Spirit of Sanada
Mhm.
and Yakuza 0.
So-
Those two I
What
played.
were the
a
other
good
two?
amount. The other two were Horizon Zero Dawn and For Honor.
Gotcha.
No, but I think that for me at least, Yakuza 0 I put a lot of time into. Just it was so wacky and so DD with what it was trying to do, and yet did it well. It still made everything seamlessly feel like they fit together, despite them being so oddly discombobulated. It was charming, but it was charming to the point of feeling like it had everything together, as opposed to just the charmingness that you get of a small child. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like it was much more elegant with its charm. I word that there.
I haven't heard anyone really have like a overly negative opinion of that game. So
And then with Samurai Warriors, they did a good amount of things different, but in the grand scheme of things, they didn't do anything different. But I think that's why I return to Warriors games. Like, I want a little refreshment, but at the same time, when I sit down to play a Warriors game, I'm sitting down to play a Warriors game.
yeah.
I get exactly where you're coming from. Sometimes you just want the main course. You're going to a restaurant. You are ordering the same thing that you've gotten before, but sometimes you wanted to see if they could tweak it a little bit, try something like add a new side maybe to it, something that is just a little bit different. But at the end of the day, even if you don't like some of the changes they do, you're overall gonna still like what you bought.
I want to feel like I'm this random guy who should be like anybody else and somehow carves through thousands of enemies over the course of 10 minutes. Like, like I'm a power fantasy in that regard, which, I mean, any other video game, I guess, could also be defined that way. But whole fantastical reliving of historical events is very fun to me. And that's why I say warrior games in general, but I'm specifically thinking Spirit of Sonata because it's the only one that came out in 2017. The fact that they do the same battles and yet they tell it differently every time, there's a little bit of creativity that it takes to tell the stories differently. You know, like, I don't know. But those two I put probably, I want to say I put 120-ish hours into both of them. Maybe a little bit more.
It's a long time for those two games.
Yeah, that is a
Yeah,
long
well, and
time.
considering how much quote-unquote repetitiveness that they have, which I know are, for both of them, even though Yakuza 0 is so, again, ADD with what it does,
Yeah.
both of them can be very repetitive. But I guess to me, there is a bit of a meditative repetitiveness that happens with them as well. So even if I'm just, sometimes I just want to mindlessly watch TV. Sometimes I just want to mindlessly be able to play a game. And button mashers like, Samurai Warriors do that perfectly. You can just sit there and just button mash your way to the end of the battle. Or you can try to do all of the secret, all of the secret different side stories. If you don't rescue this person, but rescue this person, but wait 5 minutes to do the next step, then this event happens. So you kind of have a little bit of a deciding how in depth you want to go. So I don't know. I spent a lot of time on both of them though.
Yeah.
For Honor and Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn was just. It probably wins my masterpiece award game for 2017. Like, it was beautiful. It was
Yeah, it's the most tense game of all time, like I said.
Yeah. It is. It really is.
It's got everything he could want. Being a Hida while having giant mechs.
Robot dinosaurs. Got your sneak in,
Explosive
your open
arrows.
world stuff.
Flamethrowers. I mean, there's giant wolves that breathe fire on you. Giant bears that throw lava.
Good God.
I think those are the DLC, but robots that are named Hades that are trying to kill you just because you look like the genetic implant of the lady who used to clone you from millennia ago, who shut down Hades but also created him. I mean, there's everything for
Spoilers.
everybody in this game.
You
But,
would honestly, you would be probably echoed by a number of people though, because that game was.
So that was a lot of people's game of the year.
It was the
That was
best
a
game
lot
that didn't win anything. Basically.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because it had so many things that was going up
So-
against Zelda, and I still haven't tried Zelda, so maybe that would have beat out for me. But
I don't think it would for you. I think
I don't think it would either.
I don't think
I
Zelda's
need to go back to
as
Zelda.
amazing as maybe it gets credit for.
I would probably agree with you, Mal.
If it didn't have the Zelda name attached to it, I don't think it would have won nearly as many stuff.
yeah, probably not.
What was that meta though? You're about to go on.
No, I was agreeing. I was just like, I agree with Mal. I think it's probably not as great as people think it to be.
Okay.
But to be fair, to give them the one thing they have is that if you look at like their first Zelda game, that first Zelda game was the same thing that this game was effectively an emulation of. Was that it kind of just threw you in the world and said, okay, here's directions,
Go for
go
it.
somewhere. Yeah.
Climb that mountain.
There's been
As Todd
a lot
Howard
of
said.
Yep.
in between have kind of become, I mean, their own thing in their own right. That's good, but having not played Breath of the Wild feels like it's returning to its roots in ways
Yeah.
that previous games haven't.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it gets a lot of amount of praise.
It's
because
the
of
most
different-
like the 2D games in the,
Yep.
the 3D world.
Well, I believe didn't they made it in 2D first.
Oh,
did
did
they?
they? Okay.
The original pitch was in 2D, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, or something.
I think
like
that would almost
That
explain
makes
why they
sense.
did this. Yeah, that actually would
Yeah,
explain
it really does.
design choices. Wow.
with it was an original style Zelda.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I would say I think Mario Odyssey might be the most overrated game of the year,
We
in my opinion. But
we're just gonna crap on Nintendo now.
I know,
Hold on,
and
let me
I
get
love
my
them
big
so
rap
much.
hands.
But here you go.
Before we totally crap on
Yeah.
Nintendo, because I feel like this is going to be Obbs's.
Yeah. 'Cause I will
answer.
shoot it straight with you on stuff with Nintendo too. But I am a Nintendo fanboy.
Yes, you are.
But
At least he's
The
honest.
last,
about
Yeah.
it.
one, the last one for me, For Honor, I think I went ahead and already said why it's
Yeah.
such. Because I had a lot of fun playing with you guys, and I
We
had
played
a
it
lot
a lot.
It's one of those. I
Yeah.
actually enjoy being salty playing. Like, that's the other thing. It's really fun to go, the fuck is this shit? What's fun?
Yeah.
You
fun.
know what? I have to agree. Like there are times where like I get salty as crap about for that game, But
I love
by
listening
God,
to you guys getting salty.
Yeah.
But by God, is there just like some stuff is about? It's like, how the fuck they do that? Just
How'd he
fucking
get
kick
out of
my
the
ass
throw?
Like honestly, like when I play Destiny, I hate it when I get salty. I get so mad at myself and I have to walk away from the game. But this game, I almost play to get salty. Like it's
Embrace
I don't
the
know, I
salt.
enjoy it.
Experience.
Let it
tranquility.
flow through your
Eat
veins, the
salt.
sodium.
Let
But
the
that being
salt-
said, my two biggest disappointments, because I have two of them, and
Just an
both for
overachiever
different
today.
reasons. Well, it's more because I can't make a decision, and I don't have enough time to make a decision, even though I've been thinking about it all day. So shut
Oh
up.
my God.
But for
Lay it
me,
on us.
the first one is For Honor. Honestly, it's for the
Yeah.
other reasons. we
Yeah.
For
discussed.
other reasons we hit.
Yeah.
I had a lot of hype in my head for it, and I think that it met a lot of it, but I think that it also failed a lot of it.
Yeah.
We just wanted it to be better.
It's a game that I think it falls into like that Final Fantasy 15 ending issue where it's like this game could definitely be something more, but it didn't meet it, and
It's
we know it could be something.
Yeah, it's a very fun game that could have been great.
It
Yeah.
felt like they built in depth and then forgot to fill the pool. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of the way I feel.
I
with
see,
it.
I,
Like,
see, I see. I know exactly what you're saying.
I almost
built-
feel like they use crappy cement to make the pool. More.
yeah.
I don't even know.
Um,
What's the other one?
touched on that a lot. The other one, and I think Meta is going to jump through the internet and give me seppuku for this. I hate Neo.
Oh no!
Sudoku! Sudoku, now!
Sudoku on the spot! All 81 cuts!
And the reason
All of
it's
them.
not for the game, it's not for the game. The game is beautiful and
I hate
gorgeous.
so much right now. We can never make
It
right.
would be.
This is what's gonna break this. This is what's gonna break this podcast
Yeah,
apart.
we'll split it down the road over Neo.
It would have been on my list if it wasn't for the fact that
Why?
I can't.
You blanked out for all of that.
You blanked out.
Yeah.
Wait, why didn't you like it? I don't actually know.
Because I suck at it.
Oh, get good, Scrub, get good!
Get good.
One must learn to get good.
Mal strokes beard.
I could eventually get through it, and like it would take me a while and muddle through and get to the next one, which I understand is kind of its point, and the Soulsborne in general stuff. But for me, while I was enjoying myself doing that, at the same time, the enjoyment of finally smashing the wall while using my head, so therefore I still had a headache as I walked to the next wall. Like that was kind of the way I felt about it, and I wanted to like it more than I did, and I felt bad, and I think that's also part of where the negativity comes in, at least for me with the game, is not even that the game failed me or that I failed the game, but that I failed myself because I felt bad that I was feeling that way.
How very samurai of you.
Yeah, I know, right? It's all that samurai drama. Only just
Because
you
it's
gotta
a
pick it all up.
gorgeous game. The mechanics are great. I think
I
everything
can-
flows well.
I can absolutely understand where you're coming from, though, on that prospect of like where you're playing a game and it's like part of the problem with it isn't the game or isn't like that you think the game is crappy or that there's something wrong with the game. It's that you feel like you want to enjoy this game so much more and you can't, and that sucks because you think there could be something greater out.
And I see the greatness of the game. Like to me, honestly, if I were to rate it objectively on a scale 1 to 10, and I'm not going to give all my data despite that one video that we talked about rating scales, I would honestly give it a 7 or an 8, despite me not personally enjoying it. It's a good game. It is a great game. I personally don't enjoy it, but that's for personal reasons.
That sucks.
It's still a good game, and it says nothing bad about the game. Just it's like saying that apples are inherently evil because you don't enjoy eating apples. That doesn't make sense. It's the same type of deal.
Whoa! Who's calling apples evil?
There is cyanide in the seed.
I know, right? I mean, those apples are definitely at least chaotic, if nothing else.
but you know what I'm saying, though. Like,
I get what you're saying.
Just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just.
But I'm still not going to forgive you. I'm going to have to ask you that you commit the 81 cuts for me, please.
81 trigrams,
Moving
palms
on.
rotation,
On.
or whatever, on yourself.
Yeah, Obs.
All right, so yeah, number one, my favorite game of all time, Persona 5.
I would have never guessed.
I would
have never
as you
seen
know,
that.
I put 80 hours in the game in like the first week.
You put 80 hours in the game in 2 days.
It was my life. It was literally my
I
life.
couldn't keep up. Unfortunately, I had a job to do.
Yeah, I was in school.
Unfortunately,
at the time.
I had real life things.
Right.
I was in school and unemployed at the time, so there you go. But yeah, it spoke to me in ways games have not spoken to me
Because it's
like
so
in a long
good.
time. Because just everything, the music, the art, the characters, the story.
When you got people cosplaying as shop screen.
Oh my god, yes. Yes, all the social links were great. Yeah, I mean, I don't there's nothing else I could say about the freaking game. If you like JRPGs, play
love it.
the game.
It's obvious we love it.
Yeah. Number 2 for me is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Another game that just before that I was like, man, I don't know if anything's going to top this, and Persona ended up topping it, but yeah, just as a Zelda fan who's been playing them since I was a kid, it very much hit me in nostalgia. It does have problems, and I think I kind of agree with all you guys that it got a bump, but it's still awesome. It's the only open world game that I really loved. I almost don't even, I guess Final Fantasy 15 as well, but it's definitely my favorite open world game of all time, and my second or third favorite Zelda. So there you go. It just went in such a different direction that a lot after Skyward Sword that a lot of people hated the more linear version. They went, okay, we're just going to completely take a 180 and we're going back home, kids. So yes, I love Breath of the Wild, and my number 3 would be Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Actually,
Really?
yeah.
That's
I played that over break. Mel and I were talking about it. Took me about 2.5 weeks to beat it. The music it's my second favorite soundtrack of the year, hands down. I actually really like the characters, and I love the aesthetic of it, and how it might be the most anime game I've ever played.
That's also open world.
It is, yeah, it is. It technically counts. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's kind of open.
It's a lot less open than the other two games, but it still has like transitions and stuff. But
yeah, it's not one big open world.
yeah, but no,
But
it's
that's built into
We're
the world.
corrupting you all the same.
the combat's not the greatest.
No.
It's very
The world
tropey.
is the best, I think. Thing about it. for
Yeah,
me. Like
the
the world building.
the
in
story
it is
gets
pretty great.
pretty good by the end, in my opinion. It's got some nice little Easter eggs for Xenoblade 1 towards the end that I was wondering if we're even going to be in the game.
Yeah.
And I love the ending, and I like
Well, maybe I should actually finish it.
yeah, I really like Pyra and I've played in Japanese, so I know them by their Japanese names, Homura and Hikari, but it's Pyra and Mithra.
Yeah.
I really like this character, so yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I was gonna before I had to not be on the show. That was, I think, going to be my topic, and I was only like halfway through the game at that point. I think I put in 100 hours in the game. I did a lot of the side quests. I played a lot of the stuff. I really like
it's a
the
long
cast,
one.
the characters. That's kind of honestly like what bumps it up for me. It's one thing. I mean, I always talk about how JRPGs are kind of like my favorite genre, and that's mostly what I play. And a lot of the time it's for characters and story, and I really like the characters and story. And the game had freaking amazing music. So there, and I wanted to collect all those waifu blades. So I mean, there you go.
Oh yeah.
And for my most disappointing game of the year, Bubsy: The Woolly Strike Back for PS4 and Windows.
That's, you can't even say.
I'm not. I
this
forgot
is-
that game even came out.
That
That's
you
a-
can't. That you. That's obviously.
I'm
gonna be
just
a horrible
memeing.
game.
I'm just
Disappointed
memeing.
that somebody made the decision to.
I think you mean game of the year, sir.
No. So you might think I'm talking about Mario Odyssey. I actually enjoyed the game. I just think it's very overrated. It's like a 7 out of 10 in my opinion. It's no Mario Galaxy 1. It ain't no Mario Galaxy. The best Mario game of all time. But I would actually say Tales of Berseria was probably my most disappointing game of the year.
Yeah, I like that one more than you.
Yeah, I mean, I still like the game, but every other Tales game I played, I've sat there and just like played straight through it. And I was pretty hot for this game, and it took me almost 8 months to beat it.
I also wonder if it was in a different year, if you might have liked it more. Just the caliber of game it was surrounded by.
Yeah, and it's still not a bad game. I still enjoyed it and liked it, but it's like I would give it like a 6 to a 7 experience-wise. It took me forever to beat it. I really hate Laphicet. He might be one of my least favorite. I thought no one would overtake, what's her name from Tales of Symphonia, the main girl. Colette.
I think I claimed that one.
Yeah, Colette.
Colette. I thought nothing would overtake her, but I was wrong. Laphicet might be my least favorite Tales character. I have a few characters I like in the game. I like Velvet, alright. I really liked Rokuro. I like Aizen.
Yeah,
It was fun to play. I love the battle system.
I also love Magilu.
Oh yeah, Magulu's great. It just I don't like.
Almost all of the.
I like all the characters except Laphicet.
Yeah.
And the story was very meh. It might be like the most meh Tell story too, in my opinion.
I mean, did you play Zestria or whatever?
Okay, other than Zestiria, which I didn't finish.
Right. Which I think also
I almost don't count that.
Is that it had this game had to make up for that. Like this game was a prequel and they're like, all right, how do we explain all this stupid shit?
Exactly.
So they like built a good game but had to like build or like work in a lot of
and I think that's why the story suffered a little bit. Yeah. I wasn't able to get through the game. I might have enjoyed it more if I got through Zestiria because I might have been like, okay, it explains some of this crap. But Zestiria was such like a snooze fest in the first 3 hours that I was like, nope, I literally can't. I can't.
Yeah, at least you completed this Tales game.
I did. So I think Zestiria is the only one I've played that I haven't completed. So yeah, that's me.
Well, that took a while.
Yeah, it did. Well, we love video games. We had a lot to say about them.
I think we had a lot on that one.
It was such a good year. So
it was.
There was so much to talk about. I mean, if you look at all our podcast episodes, you'd see.
And now we're going to get to play Monster Hunter in a few weeks, and
maybe
only game I need.
Project Octopath Traveler. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Most
is that demo still up? Because I still need to play.
It should be. You need to play that. But,
oh yeah, I do too.
And right now I'm playing Bravely Default, which I'm freaking in love with. I love that game.
I have to still beat that game, but all I end up doing every time I unlock a new class is trying to like get as much skill.
That's what I'm doing, and I'm like 40 hours in the game, and I'm in chapter 3.
Yeah, it's like that was the same problem for me. I was like, I'm never going to get to this end of the game because I want to have the best skill I could possibly have before continuing.
Exactly.
At some point in the past couple of years, I had to flip a switch and just stop doing that.
Yeah. So I'll talk about
through enough already.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Bravely Default later when I finish the game because it might end up being my favorite 3DS game of all time. So, but anyways,
it is really good.
It's really good. So
it is good.